$6,000 a year, the presidential salary of Burkina Faso, a beautiful house, armored cars, servants, luxury. Everything a president is supposed to have. I said no. I still earn my captain's salary, around $500 a month. The same salary I earned when I was fighting terrorists in the north. The same salary I earned when I was sleeping in the dust with my soldiers. The same salary I earned before I ever dreamed of becoming president. People ask me why. They ask me all the time. Journalists ask, foreign diplomats ask, even my own ministers ask. Let me explain something to you. Let me explain it so clearly that no one can misunderstand. A leader who enriches himself while his people starve is not a leader. He is a thief. A leader who lives in palaces while his citizens live in shacks is not a leader. He is a parasite. A leader who drives luxury cars while his soldiers lack ammunition is not a leader. He is a traitor. I refuse to be any of these things. When I look at Africa, I see a tragedy. I see a continent blessed with more natural resources than any other place on Earth. Gold, diamonds, oil, uranium, cobalt, copper, manganese. Everything the modern world needs comes from African soil. And yet, Africa is poor. Our children die of hunger. Our mothers die in childbirth. Our young people drown in the Mediterranean trying to reach Europe. How is this possible? How can the richest continent be the poorest? I will tell you how. Because for 60 years, African leaders have stolen from their own people. They have taken the wealth that belongs to the nation and put it in their own pockets. They have built mansions in Paris and Geneva, while their citizens build graves for their children. This is the truth no one wants to say out loud, but I will say it. Look at the numbers. Look at what African presidents have accumulated while their people suffered. Teodoro Obiang Nguema of Equatorial Guinea. He has ruled for 45 years. 45 years. His personal wealth is estimated at over $600 million. His son owns a $35 million mansion in Malibu. He owns a collection of luxury cars worth millions. He owns Michael Jackson's crystal-covered glove. Meanwhile, 60% of his people live on less than $2 a day. Paul Biya of Cameroon. He has ruled for 42 years. He is 91 years old and still clings to power. His personal wealth is estimated at over $200 million. He spends months every year in luxury hotels in Switzerland and France. The bills for his stays run into millions. Meanwhile, his country ranks among the most corrupt in the world. Yoweri Museveni of Uganda. He has ruled for 39 years. He came to power promising democracy and left it promising more of himself. His family controls vast business empires. His son threatens opposition leaders with death on social media. Meanwhile, millions of Ugandans live in poverty. Denis Sassou Nguesso of the Republic of Congo. He has ruled for a combined 40 years. His family owns over 100 properties in France alone. 100 properties. His country has oil wealth, yet most Congolese see nothing from it. I could continue. The list is long. The shame is deep. These men call themselves presidents. They call themselves leaders. They call themselves fathers of their nations. I call them thieves. I call them parasites. I call them the reason Africa bleeds. Africa bleeds. Now let me tell you about a different kind of leader. Let me tell you about Thomas Sankara. In 1983, a young captain took power in a country called Upper Volta. He was 33 years old. He had no wealth. He had no foreign bank accounts. He had only a vision. That Africa could be free, that Africans could feed themselves, that a leader could serve instead of steal. He changed the country's name to Burkina Faso, the land of upright men, because he believed that Africans needed to stand upright, not bow to foreign masters or domestic thieves. Do you know what Thomas Sankara owned when he died? Let me tell you exactly. One car, a 105, a small, modest car that he drove himself. 4 bicycles. He often rode a bicycle to work. The president of a nation, pedaling through the streets like an ordinary citizen. 3 guitars. He loved music. He played for his friends, for his family, for his country. A refrigerator, a broken one actually, and a freezer. That was it. That was the total wealth of the president of Burkina Faso after 4 years in power. No foreign bank accounts, no luxury cars, no Swiss watches, no designer clothes. His salary was the same as a school teacher's salary. He believed that a president who earns more than a teacher values power more than education. They killed him for this. In 1987, Blaise Compaoré, his friend and comrade, organized a coup. Sankara was shot. His body was dismembered. He was buried in an unmarked grave. Why? Because he was setting a dangerous example. Because if one African leader could be honest, others might follow. Because if one African nation could develop without foreign debt, others might try. Because the thieves and their foreign partners could not allow such a precedent. But they made a mistake. They thought that killing the man would kill the idea. They were wrong. 39 years later, I am here. Shankara's picture hangs in my office. His words guide my decisions. His example shapes my life. I did not take power to become rich. I took power to continue his revolution. When I became president in September 2022, one of my first acts was to reverse the salary increases that my predecessor had given to government officials. Ministers had awarded themselves massive raises, while soldiers died in the north without proper equipment. I cancelled those raises. Then I went further. I reduced ministerial salaries. I told my cabinet, you are here to serve, not to earn. If you want to be rich, go into business. If you want to serve Burkina Faso, accept a modest salary and work hard. Some ministers resigned. Good. They were not the ministers we needed. The money we saved went to the military. It went to equipment for our soldiers. It went to drones that now protect our villages. It went to vehicles and weapons and ammunition. And I kept my captain's salary, $500 a month, the same as before. People say I am foolish. People say no one can live on $500 a month. People say I must have hidden wealth somewhere. Let me tell you something about poverty. I grew up in Kera, a small village in western Burkina Faso. I know what poverty looks like. I know what it feels like to be hungry. I know what it means to walk miles to school. I know the smell of dust and the weight of work. $500 a month is more than most Burkinabe earn. If it is enough for them, it is enough for me. I am not better than my people. I am their servant. My house is modest. My car is a standard government vehicle, not an armored luxury tank. My clothes are military uniforms, the same ones I wore as a captain. My food is the same food my soldiers eat. Some presidents travel with hundreds of staff. They book entire floors of luxury hotels. They fly in private jets that cost more per hour than a village earns in a year. I travel light. I stay in modest accommodations. I do not need golden toilets to feel powerful. My power comes from my people, not from my possessions. Now let me tell you what we did with the money we did not steal. We nationalized our gold mines. Burkina Faso is the fourth largest gold producer in Africa. For decades, foreign companies extracted our gold, shipped it to Europe, and left us with holes in the ground and pennies in our pockets. No more. We created Sopamip, a state mining company. We took back mines from foreign corporations. We built our own gold refinery, the first in our history. Now Burkinabe gold is refined in Burkina Faso, creating jobs for Burkinabe people. The gold that flows from our land now builds Burkinabe schools. It pays Burkinabe teachers. It equips Burkinabe hospitals. It belongs to us. In 2025, we achieved food self-sufficiency. For the first time in our history, Burkina Faso can feed itself from its own land. We distributed tractors and equipment to farmers. We built irrigation systems. We invested in seeds and training. Now our granaries are full. We rejected loans from the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. They came to us with their offers. Millions of dollars, they said. All you have to do is follow our conditions. Privatize your industries, open your markets, let foreign companies in. I said no. Their loans are not gifts, they are chains. Every dollar comes with conditions that benefit foreign corporations, not African people. Every loan puts us deeper in debt, more dependent, more controlled. Sankara said it best. He who feeds you controls you. We will feed ourselves. We will control ourselves. We will develop on our own terms or not at all. We are building roads, not with foreign contractors who overcharge and underdeliver, with Burkinabe workers, Burkinabe equipment, Burkinabe hands. We have created road-building brigades that employ our own people to connect our own villages. We are building a new airport. We are building schools. We are building hospitals. We are building the future. All of this costs money. Where does the money come from if the president does not steal it? If we do not take foreign loans? It comes from our gold. It comes from our taxes, honestly collected. It comes from cutting waste and corruption. It comes from leaders who take $500 a month instead of $76,000. Do the math. If I took the presidential salary, that would be $76,000 a year. Over 10 years, $760,000. Over 20 years, $1.5 million. Just for one person. Just for me. Now multiply that by all the ministers, all the officials, all the bureaucrats who expect luxury salaries. Millions of dollars flowing into private pockets instead of public projects. When leaders are modest, nations can be ambitious. Now let me talk about age. Let me talk about the old men who rule Africa. The average age of an African head of state is 63 years old. 63. In a continent where the average age of the population is 19. Old men ruling young nations. Men who came to power before their citizens were born, still clinging to their thrones while a new generation waits. Paul Biya is 91. He took power in 1982. They are Cameroonians who have never known another president. They were born under Biya, they grew up under Biya, they will probably die under Biya. Teodoro Obiang is 82. He took power in 1979. He overthrew his own uncle and has ruled ever since. 45 years of the same face, the same family, the same theft. Yoweri Museveni is 80. He took power in 1986, promising to end the culture of African leaders who overstay their welcome. Now he has overstayed longer than almost anyone. Denis Sassou Nguesso is 81. He has ruled for 40 of the last 45 years. These men do not lead, they occupy. They sit on their nations like stones on graves, preventing anything new from growing. And what have they achieved? After 40 years of Biya, is Cameroon prosperous? After 45 years of Obiang, is Equatorial Guinea developed? After 39 years of Museveni, is Uganda transformed? No. These countries have the same problems they had decades ago. Poverty, corruption, unemployment, brain drain, youth fleeing to other continents because they see no future at home. The old men took power promising change. They delivered stagnation. They promised development. They delivered theft. They promised freedom. They delivered dynasties. I am 37 years old. When I took power, I was 34, the youngest head of state in the world. Some people said I was too young, too inexperienced. What does a captain know about running a country? Let me tell you what a captain knows. A captain knows what it means to lead men into battle. A captain knows what it means to make decisions when lives depend on it. A captain knows what it means to sleep in the dust and eat from the same pot as his soldiers. A captain knows loyalty. A captain knows sacrifice. A captain knows that a leader who hides behind his men is not a leader at all. The old presidents know how to steal. I know how to fight. The old presidents know how to give speeches. I know how to give orders that get executed. The old presidents know how to negotiate with foreign powers for their own benefit. I know how to negotiate for my country. Youth is not a weakness, it is a strength. I have energy that a 91-year-old does not have. I have connection with my people that a man who has lived in palaces for 40 years cannot have. I have hunger for change that a man who is comfortable with the status quo will never have. Africa's population is the youngest in the world. 60% of Africans are under 25. This is our greatest resource. Young people with energy, with ideas, with dreams. But what do we offer them? Leadership by men old enough to be their great-grandfathers. Men who do not understand the internet, who do not understand the aspirations of the youth, who do not understand that the world has changed since they took power. Is it any wonder that young Africans flee? Is it any wonder they risk drowning in the Mediterranean? They look at their countries and see no future. They see the same old men, the same old corruption, the same old stagnation. They see no path forward except escape. I want to give them a different vision. I want to show them that Africa can be led by Africans who understand them. That leadership does not require gray hair and foreign bank accounts. That a young person can build a nation instead of fleeing it. When I attended President Mahama's inauguration in Ghana in January 2026, 21 African heads of state were present. Do you know who received the loudest applause? Not the oldest, not the richest, not the most powerful. Me, the youngest, the one who earns $500 a month, the one who refused the presidential salary. The crowd erupted. Ghanaians, who are not even my countrymen, cheered for me. Young people who had never been to Burkina Faso chanted my name. Why? Because they see something different. They see a leader who looks like them, who speaks like them, who struggles like them. They see him, who struggles like them. They see hope. This is what the old men do not understand. Their time is ending. The youth of Africa are watching. They are comparing. They are choosing. They do not want another Biya. They do not want another Museveni. They do not want another 40 years of the same. They want change. They want honesty. They want leaders who serve instead of steal. I am trying to be that leader. I am trying to show that it is possible. Now let me address the critics, because there are always critics. They say military rule is wrong. They say democracy is the only legitimate form of government. They say I should hold elections and step down. Let me ask them a question. What has democracy delivered in Africa? In many countries, democracy has delivered rigged elections. It has delivered presidents who change constitutions to stay in power. It has delivered parliaments that rubber-stamp theft. It has delivered the appearance of choice without the reality of change. Paul Biya holds elections. He wins with 90% of the vote. Is that democracy? I do not claim to be a Democrat. I claim to be a patriot. I claim to serve my people. I claim to be accountable not to foreign observers who fly in for election day, but to the Burkinabe who live with the consequences of my decisions every day. When I make a mistake, they let me know. When I succeed, they celebrate. When I fail, they protest. This is accountability. Real accountability. Not the fake accountability of elections that can be bought and stolen. The Afrobarometer survey found that 66% of Burkinabe accept military rule. 2/3 of my people. In 2012, that number was 24%. It has nearly tripled. Why? Because they have seen what civilian politicians did. They have seen the corruption. They have seen the failure. They have seen presidents who talked about democracy while their families stole billions. I am not saying military rule is perfect. I am saying that what matters is results. What matters is whether the people's lives improve. What matters is whether the nation moves forward or backward. By that measure, we are moving forward. Inflation is down, the gold industry is growing, extreme poverty is declining. Spending on health, education, and social protection is rising. We are building roads at a pace never seen before. We are achieving food security for the first time. These are not promises, these are facts. This is what happens when leaders do not steal. They also criticize my alliance with Russia. They say I have traded one master for another. They say I have gone from France to Moscow. Let me be clear. Burkina Faso is not Russia's colony. We are partners. We buy weapons from them because they sell to us without conditions. We buy equipment from them because they do not demand that we open our markets to their corporations. We cooperate with them because they treat us as equals. France treated us as subjects. France kept troops on our soil for 60 years. France controlled our currency. France extracted our resources. France supported dictators who did their bidding. Russia does none of this. Russia sells us what we need and leaves us alone. That is the relationship we want. Not a new master, but a fair partner. And we are not exclusive. We also work with Turkey. We work with China. We work with anyone who respects our sovereignty and offers fair terms. This is what independence looks like. Choosing your partners based on your interests, not on colonial history. Buying from whoever offers the best deal, not whoever colonized you. The West does not like this. They want Africa to remain dependent. They want us to keep buying their weapons, accepting their loans, following their advice. They call it partnership, but it is control. We are breaking that control, and they cannot forgive us for it. Let me tell you about the alliance of Sahel states. Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. 3 countries that said enough. We withdrew from ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West African States. Why? Because ECOWAS had become a tool of foreign powers. When we expelled French troops, ECOWAS threatened us with sanctions. When we refused to follow their demands, they threatened military intervention. What kind of African organization threatens to invade African countries for asserting their sovereignty? An organization controlled by foreign interests. An organization led by presidents who answer to Paris before they answer to their own people. So we left. We created our own alliance, an alliance based on mutual respect, shared struggle, and common destiny. President Assimi Goïta of Mali. He is my brother. His country faces the same challenges: terrorism, poverty, foreign interference. We stand together. General Abdourahmane Tiani of Niger. He is my brother. His country has uranium that powers French nuclear plants, yet his people live in darkness. We stand together. 3 nations, 70 million people, vast resources, unlimited potential. Together, we are building something new, a model of African cooperation that does not depend on foreign approval, a bloc that answers to its people, not to former colonial powers. They try to isolate us, they impose sanctions, they ban our flights, they freeze our assets. We survive, we adapt, we grow stronger. Because when you have nothing to lose, you cannot be threatened. When you are already sanctioned, you cannot be scared with more sanctions. When you have decided to be free, no punishment can change your mind. I will now speak directly to different audiences. To the young people of Africa, you are watching. I know you are watching. On TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, on X. You share my speeches, you make videos about me. You debate about me in your universities and your neighborhoods. I want you to know that I see you too. I am doing this for you. When I refuse the presidential salary, I am showing you that power does not have to mean corruption. When I live modestly, I am showing you that leadership does not require luxury. When I fight for sovereignty, I am showing you that Africa does not have to be dependent. You are the future. 60% of Africa is under 25. You will decide what this continent becomes. You will either repeat the mistakes of the past or build something new. I am trying to give you a model. Not a perfect model. I make mistakes. But an honest model. A model that shows what is possible when a leader serves instead of steals. Stay in Africa. Build Africa. Fight for Africa. Your ancestors did not survive slavery and colonialism for you to give up. Your continent has everything it needs to be great. It only needs you. To the African leaders who are still stealing, the youth are watching you too. They see your mansions, they see your private jets, they see your children in foreign universities, while their children cannot afford school fees. They see everything. Your time is ending. You can feel it. The ground is shifting under your feet. The old ways are dying. You have a choice. You can continue as you are, and history will remember you as thieves. Your names will be curses on the lips of future generations. Your graves will be spat upon. Or you can change. You can return what you stole. You can apologize to your people. You can use your remaining years to repair some of the damage you have done. The people will forgive you. Africans are the most forgiving people on earth. But you must be honest. You must confess. You must change. The choice is yours. But know this. If you choose to continue stealing, you choose to be forgotten. Or worse, remembered with shame. To the foreign powers who have exploited Africa, your time is also ending. The generation that accepted your exploitation is dying. The generation that replaces them has read history. They know about the slave trade. They know about colonialism. They know about neo-colonialism. They know about structural adjustment programs that destroyed African economies. They know about coups you organized against leaders who defied you. They know everything. You cannot gaslight a generation that has internet access. You cannot pretend to be friends while you steal. The mask has fallen. We see your face. You have 2 options. You can adapt to a world where Africa is independent and deal with us as equals. Or you can resist and watch your influence disappear. China understood this. Russia understood this. Turkey understood this. They came to Africa with respect, and they are building partnerships. The West still does not understand. They still send lectures about democracy while supporting dictators. They still talk about human rights while bombing countries into chaos. They still pretend to help while extracting wealth. This contradiction cannot hold. Africans see it. The world sees it. Change or be left behind by history. To my family, you have sacrificed for this. You have lived with a husband and father who earns $500 a month while being president. You have lived with the constant threat of assassination. You have lived with the knowledge that powerful forces want me dead. Thank you for staying. Thank you for believing. Thank you for understanding that some things are more important than comfort. I cannot give you mansions. I cannot give you luxury cars. I cannot give you the life that other presidential families enjoy. But I can give you something more valuable. The knowledge that your husband, your father, served with honor. The knowledge that when history is written, our name will be clean. Children, grow up knowing that your father never stole. Grow up knowing that he lived what he preached. Grow up and continue the work. Build the Africa I am dreaming of. Finally, to Thomas Sankara. Brother, I know you are watching from wherever revolutionaries go when their bodies fall. I have not forgotten. I have not betrayed. I have not taken the presidential salary. I have not built mansions. I have not stolen. Your picture is in my office. Your words are in my heart. Your example guides my steps. They killed you because you showed that honesty is possible. They thought that killing you would kill the idea. They were wrong. I am here. 39 years later, your revolution continues. The land you fought for is still fighting. The people you served are still struggling. The dream you dreamed is still alive. They may kill me too. They have tried 5 times. They may succeed the 6th time, or the 7th, or the 10th. It does not matter. Because the idea cannot be killed. The vision cannot be buried. The revolution cannot be stopped. One day, Africa will be free. One day, African leaders will serve instead of steal. One day, African resources will build African nations. One day, African children will grow up proud instead of fleeing. I may not live to see that day. You did not live to see it. But it will come. As surely as the sun rises, it will come. Until then, we fight. We build. We refuse presidential salaries. We live on $500 a month. We show the world what honest leadership looks like. They offered me $76,000. I said no, and I would say no again, 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times, until my last breath. Because some things cannot be bought. Honor cannot be bought. Integrity cannot be bought. The love of your people cannot be bought. I am not a rich man. I am not a powerful man in the way that thieves measure power. I am just a captain from a small village who was given a chance to serve. And I would serve until I can serve no more. Homeland or death. We shall overcome. This is not a slogan. This is my life. Long live Burkina Faso! Long live Africa! Long live the revolution! Until victory! Always.